All right, guys. So in this video, we are creating this app to upload data file. Okay. In the previous video, we learned a much more simple app that takes any files, right? But here we are importing or uploading data files. Okay. So it looks very similar input side, right? So we have browse button that the users click on, and then it shows the name of the uploaded data file, and then there's a message in blue button. It's not a clickable button, but it shows a message upload complete, right? And there is another input. How many rows do you want to show? How many rows of the table, data table, right? And then there is the table of the data file that's uploaded, right? So important issue here is there's two of them. One is we want to limit the data file types that can be uploaded. So in this example, the app only accepts two types of data file, comma separated and tab separated. So extension should be .csv or .tsv, right? So we're using this accept argument in the file input function, all right? So for that, in the server function, we have this file extension uh, file extension function that extracts the extension from the file name, and we use the switch function so that app does certain things depending on that file extension. So file extension function and switch function, right? So remember that. And also the other thing here is this require function, because this app is initialized to null. We need to tell the app to hold off until that first data file is uploaded. Okay, don't do anything until the first file is uploaded. That's what this require function is for. All right. Okay, let's do this in our studio. All right, so let's close this app. Let's save this file as section 9.1.3. Okay, and so we need this upload null. So multiple. So we don't need multiple argument now. And table output. Oh, we need one more input, right? Number. How many rows do you want to display, right? So for that, so let's check with cheat sheet. So we need a drop down menu. I think that will be that's what we saw, right? Yeah, this is drop down menu, right? Was it here? Right. Okay. So that will be select input function, or oh, numeric input, right? So numeric input, because it should be a number. Select input um, is for character data. So numeric input. Okay. So all right, let's go to our studio, and then numeric input, and then we have input ID label. So the label was row input ID, and then value is for default value, minimum, maximum, right? So what was it? ON for the input ID, rows for the label, default value 5, minimum 1, and step, meaning the interval, right? Okay. So numeric input, input ID N, and then the label is rows, and then what was it? The value was 1, and then minimum was 1, and then there was step was 1, and comma, and then table output, we name it head. That's output ID. Run app. Let's check this out. All right. So it works fine. And then row, right? Okay. Now we need this server function that remember. Oh, so this is from the previous. Uh, so yeah, we do need this, but we change this to head output ID, right? And So for render table, pairing with table output, and that is correct. And here we need, what we need to do is we need to, so we need to have reactive function, right, to define the data that we from the uploaded file. And then here in render table function, we're going to take that data. So here we're going to use, because it's going to be multiple line, we're going to use head function. So that head here is not input ID, right? It's a function. And we're going to take data, reactive value. And then in the head function, argument, input ID, how many rows? Input ID is n. So this n here after input $sign is not the same as this n here. And this n is the argument in the head function. Okay? And so now, here in the reactive function for data, to create data, the first thing that we need to do is to hold off until the first file is uploaded. For that, require function input, and that is upload, right? And then we need to take that file extension, right? Because we want to limit the data file types to comma separated and tab separated values, right? Okay. So for that, what function did we use? We used file extension function from tools package, and we save that in this variable extension, ext, all right? And then we're going to use this ext in switch function, right? To select an option from a list, CSV, TSV, and validate, right? So let's do that. So ext from tools package, what was it? File extension, right? So here, input $sign, upload, because that's the input ID, and then only take name, right? So data file's name. And so we're going to provide the data file's name to file extension package, and that extension is stored in ext variable. And then we're going to pass that to switch function, right? And so object here is ext, and then we have CSV, right? And CSV equals, we need this vroom function from vroom package. And then we provide input upload and data path. Okay. So this upload, which is the input, right? It has a list of these vectors, name and also data path, right? So we're providing data path from this input upload to vroom function. So vroom function is very similar to read underscore CSV function. For example, it's to import data files, but it's just much faster. Okay, much faster. And then the values are separated by comma. So that's what it means here. Dilim equals and comma within quotation. Tab separated value file. The values are separated by tab in your keyboard. Okay, so that is what we need to provide. Okay, so CSV, if it's a comma separated value file, then vroom colon colon vroom, right? And then input upload, we're going to provide data path, and then argument delim comma, and then tab separated value file, the same thing, vroom package, vroom function, input upload, data path, delim, this time will be tab, and then this other function validate. So this is to limit the possible data type. So in other words, if the user uploads a data file that is not comma separated values or TSV file, then this switch function picks this validate and sends out this message: invalid file, please upload these types of file. Okay, so validate in quotation invalid file. Please upload a CSV or TSV file, like that. Okay, so that's all there is, and let's reload app. Okay, now let's upload a data file. All right, so let's go find one data file. So here, okay, I'm gonna select this file. All right, so very good. So now it's displaying the first row of this data file, right? We can change this to how many rows? 4 rows, right? Now, what if we upload something that is not um, data file? So what file would there be? Right. So I'm going to select some maybe Word file. Okay. So I'm going to select this Word file and see what happens. All right. Now we see this invalid file. Please upload a CSV or TSV file. Right. So that is how it works. Is there anything else I need to? All right. So I think that that's all. I covered everything that I need to, and please practice. There, we've covered a few functions that we haven't seen before. All right. So take some time to familiarize yourself with new functions, and I'll see you in the next video for downloading. All right. Take care.